And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 21 of Smite Talk. My name is OctanePro, and joining me today, the man, the myth, the legend from TSM, we do have Zimpstar. How's it going, man?
Hello, I'm doing well. I'm doing very good.
Excellent,
Thank you.
excellent. Well, thanks for joining us. Those of you guys not familiar with who this guy is, he is the coach and sub for Team SoloMid. I guess we'll call them the world champions right now. From the Smite. It's a pretty cool title to have, huh? Pretty cool title for sure.
Yeah.
So we have him on the show here from Team SoloMid, and we're going to spend the next little while here with him, kind of getting to know him, learning a little bit more about, Team SoloMid. But you guys can ask questions if you guys are interested in, asking questions about the team, about certain players, about strategies, about God picks from Atlanta, anything like that. Go ahead and in the bottom left hand corner of the screen directly below my video, you'll see you can go ahead and call in via raid call. We're right now in raid call waiting for you guys, and the ID number is right there. So everyone in chat, go ahead and just type in that number in raid call that you see. That'll bring you into the channel, and then I'll go ahead and bring you in when it's time for some community questions, and you can talk to us, ask us questions, ask for our comments, anything like that. So this is about a 45-minute show. All depends on how many questions we get, give or take. It is late over there. What time is it over there right now?
It's 11 p.m.
Oh, that's not bad.
Not too late.
That's
Nah,
not bad.
too bad.
Yeah, we were originally going to do it. I guess it'd be 1 a.m. for you, and I can see that being a little rough for sure, sure. So everyone in chat's like, what's up with the Smite servers? Why aren't they working? I don't work for Hi-Rez. I do have the Smite shirt on, but I can't tell you what's going on with that. I don't know if they're having technical issues. I don't know if there's some patch adjustments.
I think yeah, it's a patch. They're deploying the patch, I'm pretty sure.
That'd be awesome. That'd be really, really cool, because I am on Smite game until 1 a.m. Eastern time, so I will be here for a while, covering for Little Mamacita later, and we might actually be doing a Smite roundtable discussion with some of the guys from the Dead Workers Party later tonight. So it's up in the air. We'll see. But let's not prolong things too much here. Let's kind of dive into it a little bit more. And very basic first question is, where does your gaming handle Zimpstar come from?
Wow, it's kind of random. It's just that my name is Simon in real life, and my mates used to call me Simp, just with an S, and it somehow just became Zimpstar. I don't know.
Now I have to ask you, what gamer handle did you have before this one? Because everybody has that lame gamer handle that, like, everyone's got it.
Wow, dude, I used to play Medal of Honor like when I was 13, and my nickname would be like Yogurt, I think.
Yogurt?
Yogurt 90. Yeah, Yogurt. I'm born 90. It was Yogurt 90. Like, I was such a noob, but
that's like worse than mine. Like mine was like, my last name's Jester, like the court jester.
Yeah,
and so mine used to be J Dog, like D-O-G, like
J Dog.
Wow. But
that's so cheesy, dude.
Yeah, yo, you had Yogurt. You can't shit, bro. You had Yogurt. Come on now.
That's true. It's true. Mine's worse, for sure. No, so then I started playing Quake, a lot of Quake.
Okay.
And I just say Nick Simp. That's it, and then it's been like that for as long as I can remember. Before, those Yogurt times.
Sure. So let's dive into it a little more. What's your background, in the gaming scene? Like, what did you do before Smite? What type of games did you play? Did you ever play competitive anywhere else? Stuff like that.
Yeah, I played. As I said, I used to play Medal of Honor, then Quake. Like, all my friends would play Counter-Strike 1.6. It was really, really popular. Then I just played Quake because I was more of like a one-on-one player. I didn't really like the team games at all.
Okay.
So from there on, I went to play Bloodline Champions and World of Warcraft.
Okay.
And in both those games, I did really well. I played for SK Gaming and Bill C for a while, and I also I had a private sponsor in World of Warcraft that paid me. Like, he was some Dubai, the classical Dubai guy.
Sure.
So yeah, I used to play a lot with a real life friend here in Sweden. And we got a few rank ones back in the Burning Crusade, and then from there just League of Legends, obviously, and then Smite.
Okay.
So,
So now let's talk a little bit about the team itself. how was the team initially formed before it was TSM? Like, did you guys know
Oh.
each other? Did you just grab each other from like the EU ranked matches, or how did that come about? How did you guys get together?
Um, well, I used to play. I didn't really play with these guys. Like I used to play against them a lot, against
Okay,
Lobster and Yambe when they were
sure.
Bipolar Method. I
Hmm.
was in Victoria's Secrets ages ago,
Okay,
and then like I always played against them. I always knew they were good players, and then by the end of last year, um, I had a team that disbanded, and I was like, damn, I need a steady team.
yeah.
And they were called U back then, and they just got rid of I'm not going into the details, but
Sure, sure.
Visterion and Sprayern they left the team,
Okay.
and they picked up Lobster and Yambe, and they needed like a sub. So I was like, guys, like, can I sub for you guys? Because I'm tired of getting new teams.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, sure, man. Then I subbed in for him a few times, and really got along. And then I took a more, I like kind of took on like a role where I became more and more a part of the team and trying to make strategies and stuff for the team. So
Okay.
yeah, we just kind of rolled from that.
Okay, cool, cool, for sure, for sure. So, yeah, I mean, we have a lot of people in raid call right now, waiting to ask their questions and stuff like that. We'll definitely take them throughout the night. We're gonna do a few more questions, and then we'll take a few community questions. We'll kind of bounce back and forth for sure. So moving on from there, tell us a little bit about how you guys got picked up by Team SoloMid. I mean, Team SoloMid originally was a League of Legends exclusively team. It was a huge step not only for TSM but also for the Smite scene for you guys to get picked up. Tell us about that. Did you guys reach out to them? Did they reach out to you? How did that all come about?
So basically, we had some contact with TSM and some other teams before. There was a big finals in 2013,
Mm-hmm.
like it was a 5K or 10K finals, I
Okay.
don't remember. And basically after that, I got an email from Original like, hey, yeah, hey, like this is Reggie. I'm like, no, there's no way this is Reggie, dude. There's no
Yeah.
way in hell. And then like he called me up on Skype. He's like, hey man, and I instantly recognized the voice
Okay.
because I used to be like, huge TSM fanboy.
Sure.
I play
Sure.
so much. I play so much League of Legends, and it was like, hey, I'm Reggie. Like, do you know TSM? I'm like, I kind of heard of you.
Kinda. Yeah. Right.
I
Okay.
kind of knew you are. And then yeah, and then he was just really happy with our performance, and we kept winning, and now we won the tournament. So
That's
they're
awesome
happy.
for
We're
sure.
happy.
For sure, for
Yeah.
sure. So we talked a little bit about how the game got picked up for there, how that worked out. So when you guys were looking at TSM, what did they offer compared to other teams? Like, were you guys made
Oh.
offers before that, or this was your first offer, and so you just grabbed it in an instant?
No, we had a lot of offers. Like
Okay,
we had a lot of contact with a lot of organizations
okay,
and like some really big names,
okay.
and we just kind of evaluated like what are we looking for? We're looking for sponsors like as big as possible with many games. You have like Fnatic, for example.
Yep, yep.
They have like a team in every single game, and so
Hmm.
does Dignitas and all those teams. Or do we want to go for like a smaller team with a bigger fan base? Like they only had one team, the LoL team.
Okay,
So we were like, okay, so if we're all with them, they can tend us more, like they can listen to us, and we can become a bigger part of the organization, and not be just another, just a random team in some random game they just want to pick up.
okay.
So I'm really happy with the decision because right now we have really close contact with Reginald and all the people from TSM, and he actually came to the event as well, which was really really cool.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's huge, especially for you guys. We'll get into that as we kind of move on from there. So another question here, how have things changed since you guys came on with TSM? I mean, before, you were kind of an unsponsored team. Now you're on with TSM. Prior to the 200K, what changed? Like, did you guys notice like instant changes having that larger organization support?
Um, the only thing that changed was the fan base. Like all of a sudden, like we have so many Twitter followers, like, and I know I don't stream myself that much right now. I don't really have time for it, but I know Trixtank, Yambe does, and also Lobster.
Okay.
And Trixtank right now has like he has like between 500 viewers
Okay.
each time he streams,
Yeah.
and that's like 3, 4, 5 times more than he used to have. So just think of a fan base and like a name to relate to, and also I think a lot of League fans kind of they were kind of like, oh wow, Smite, what's that? That's pretty cool.
Sure.
Checked it out, so they definitely help. Well, when it comes to fans, for sure. And then also, some regular stuff like gear and all that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
the usual.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, it's definitely a big deal for sure. When we looked at one of the first tournaments after TSM got picked up, same thing in there with like Cloud9 and stuff like that. The viewer count on the Hi-Rez channel,
Oh
the
yeah.
Smite game channel on that first tournament was
Yeah.
almost double what it usually is, and it was all because of the fact that like TSM helped to get the name, started making the Twitter post and made announcements on their page saying, hey, our team's playing, go check out our Smite team. And it was the funniest thing I saw the first time that you guys played. I saw somebody in Smite game chat go, why are the League of Legends players playing Smite? I don't understand. And it was really funny for like diehard TSM fans not understanding that, like, hey, these are two different teams but under one organization, TSM. So that's pretty cool for sure. So next question here that we have for you is let's see, tell us a little bit about the players, outside of like their roles. Trixtank is your support, your guardian role, and stuff like that. Tell us a little bit about the players, like where are they from, and a little bit about what does each player bring to the team.
Oh wow, this team is such a team. Like we're just on the same page. I don't know. It just when I sub in for these guys, like this team, it's just so easy to sub in. Like it's everyone has their role in the team. And it's just like everybody's on the same page at all times, and the attitude is always positive. We're always like, even if we're behind, like every single game in the tournament, we were behind, like early game, mid game, and then we kind of just go, we just kind of go through that, and we go in game, and when the team fight comes, when we come together as five, everything just clicks, everything just smooth, and we have Yeah, we have really good team synergy, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's a huge thing for sure. The synergy that comes down to it. So who's the play caller on the team? Like when during a Smite match, who calls the plays?
Whoever yells the loudest, dude.
Really? Okay. Okay.
No, it's like no. We have some plans, right? Where we're like, okay, Lobster and Trix are gonna do the calls like mid game, because the support is always at the mid camps, and like he kind of has to evaluate, like he has to look at the situation and be like, okay, can we fight? Then he kind of relays that back to Lobster, like, okay, can we fight this?
Yeah.
I got my ulti up, and they do the thing.
Okay.
But like, it ends up being like, in team fights and stuff, everybody's like yelling stuff, but almost always the same thing. So it ends up being real well, like everybody calling the same target, and I don't know, it's just beautiful. Like it's so fun to play with these guys. It's unbelievable, honestly.
Okay. And let's see, what else do I have here for you? Another question. We'll take one more question, then we're gonna bring in somebody to go ahead and ask a live question for you guys.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, here's a good question. Good question for sure. So right now there is only a very small handful of teams that actually have coaches. To those that don't have coaches, what would you recommend when looking for a coach for Smite?
Oh, well, like obviously when you have players that are these, like they're so good. Like you have Game Hunter, for example, right?
Yeah.
And he's just a god. And it seems. I mean, people can be like, okay, what can you possibly do to help him improve his game? But it's more of like you watch the game from another perspective, and you can give your input, and as long as they trust you and they listen to you and respect what you're saying, and you can listen to them back, and you can just help them improve on their individual play. When it comes to maybe one-on-one or laning phase or late game, where we should put the wards and all that, that's, I think, where the advantage comes. Because if you're a team, you're doing your own thing. Like I'm in the solo lane, right? For example, I'm doing my own thing. I don't really see what the dual lane is doing. And if they don't think they're doing anything wrong at all, then they're not going to improve anything. So if you have that other perspective, the other guy looking at you be like, okay, you should improve on this, and not be afraid to tell them so, then you can improve as a team much faster, at least.
Okay. And like how, I guess, how did you guys, I'm trying to think, on a weekly basis, as the coach, how are you contributing in regards to, are you reviewing replays? Are you, how are you contributing to the team as a coach? Because I know you also play the sub role as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like what you would expect. Like, look at replays, talk with the team, picks and bans. It's a lot to do with picks and bans, honestly. The picks and bans during the Atlanta tournament was like, I think we nailed like at least 90% of the bans. We predicted almost every ban against us,
Wow, that's
and
okay.
yeah, no, I mean, I'm not even lying. Like, I wish I could prove it somehow because it was so beautiful. Every time I was looking at the screen, like they banned what we thought we were gonna ban, I'm like, oh my God, we got this because we
Yeah.
got the picks we wanted. And it's just like general stuff. I mean, early in the team when we started, I used to like joust Game Honor a lot and play against him a lot in
Yeah.
ranked, like a lot. And it's just trying builds out. I can tell Yambei, oh yo, you gotta check this build out because I've been trying it, I've been seeing it. You should really build this on this card instead. And he's gonna try it out, and it's just being that extra, always looking to improve. Like it's all about that,
Okay.
always getting better.
Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll take a call from our first caller here. Oreos is our first caller, and we'll take a call from him. A question or a comment or something like that, and then we'll go ahead and kind of dive into Atlanta. Because I think there's plenty to talk about with Atlanta, with the tournament, with all that fine stuff. So let's
Yeah,
go ahead
yeah.
and pull him in, see if he's available here. And here we go. Oreos, welcome to Smite Talk. How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. So you're on here with Zimpstar. What question do you have for him, or comment?
Awesome. Zimstar, what's your favorite moment that's ever happened in Smite history so far?
Oh, it's an easy one. It's when we, it's when we won the tournament. Like,
Well, yeah,
we
yeah,
won-
yeah. I mean, other than that, like, I mean, was there
Oh,
like a favorite play that you've ever seen?
um, I don't know. Damn. You mean like when I'm playing at home, or like the weekly tournaments, or any tournament?
Just like any tournament. Like, have you ever seen
Oh,
an amazing play that's just, put you at awe?
damn. I don't know. We got the game on a pentakill. Like everything kind of falls off. Like when that happens. Uh, damn. Basically, I think my own personal, if I can be like egoistic, like my own personal
Sure.
favorite moment was when I played Mercury solo lane against Celia when he was in SK and I
Hmm.
was in like Epo Ticket. And I was on the pre-game talk with Demon Machine and Zinder, and he was bashing me because I told him Mercury solo is really good, and he was like, no, it's so trash. And I told him I'm gonna pick it against SK. And he's like, okay, you go ahead and do that. And I went like 6-0 in lane against Celia. I was really happy about that one. Like, he was feeding me, and I was really happy. So that's
Nice.
yeah, that's a favorite of mine.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Sure. Do you have any, do
Thank
you
you,
have
man.
any other questions?
No, that's it.
Okay, great. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate your question.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on.
No problem.
Thank you, man.
So we'll bring on Z Swizzle here in a minute. We're gonna kind of tap into Atlanta here in the meantime. So let's talk a little bit about Atlanta. There's plenty to talk about there for sure. So as a coach, you had a lot to contribute there. How did you guys prepare for Atlanta? We've heard people talk about replays being reviewed and stuff like that. But let's talk about how you guys prepared for Atlanta as a team.
Wow. Okay. Well, I don't know. We just started looking at the NA teams, what they were doing, because we were it was unknown territory for us, basically. And we just, I don't know, screamed a lot and just made sure we're consistent,
Okay.
and we just played out with each other. And when we came into it, we were really just confident. Like, it's just really hard to explain where the synergy comes from. Like, we're all really, really good friends. So preparation was like just as like a normal tournament. We just
Okay.
screamed and we worked really, really hard. We put in the hours, and we just hoped that it was gonna pay off.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
So you talked about like the bands were exactly what you thought.
oh yeah.
What did you guys do there? Did you go back and look at every team that was going to be in the tournament and review their past history, or how'd you do that?
Yeah, I used a website called, oh damn, I forget what it was. It's some like Smite Pro website or
Smite
something like
Pro.
that.
Yep. SmitePro.com.
Yeah, yeah, and it kind of says like the top gods for every player. So I looked at that, and then we compared it to the picks they did on the tournament. We watched every other game that
Okay.
the other guys played, so we knew, for example, the Nemesis was like a really top priority pick for the NA teams.
Okay.
And Vamana not so much for some reason, and we got Vamana almost every game. And I mean, you saw what that did to us. Like,
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
yeah. We got like also there was some Reddit post. It made me laugh. It was like a month ago, right before the tournament. that was some guy talking about how Shock was like a pretty bad pick, and you shouldn't pick it during the 100K. And we knew that if we get Shock, like we can win, and we got Shock, and we ganked the solo lane. I think it was Omega on Hebo a lot, and I don't know. The picks and bans were just, I don't know, just spot on. A bit of luck, of course. You can't always predict it, but we went with statistics and what we saw from the tournament, and it really worked out.
So do you guys think a lot of the success that you guys had in the tournament was from the picks and ban stage? I mean, a lot of people call that its own mini game, like the bans and picks, the strategy around it. Do you think that won you a lot of the games, or no, it really came down to the team fight success?
Bit of both.
Okay.
Like the pick and bans at that level of play is so important. Like in ranked, for example, it doesn't really matter what happened, what you pick and ban. You can win against a Zeus, no problem. But at that level of play, you need it's like half the game is decided in picks and bans. It sounds pretty silly or maybe sad to say that.
Yeah.
But it's the same way in any MOBA, Dota or League. Like it's all about the picks and bans. You can't give away those priority picks. So it's a big part of winning. And any team that's looking to become successful needs to put a lot of emphasis on picks and bans.
Okay, yeah, for sure. No, I mean, the value's there. I mean, it's interesting because when you look at like your casual games or your ranked games, you can see like a lot of the times at a lower level like that, you can see that the picks and bans are like make or break the game sometimes, just as a casual or ranked player. So yeah, it's completely understandable. So let's go ahead and bring in Z Swizzle and see what type of question that they have here. Z Swizzle, welcome to Smite Talk. How's it going? See if Z Swizzle's there. May or may not be there. All right. I don't think Z Swizzle is there. Some people get cold feet. It's kind of interesting. They like get on the show and they're like, nope, I'm not available. Can't do it. So that's all good. So we'll continue with our questions here. One sec. Just want to go ahead and move somebody around. And so let's talk about Atlanta. So how long was the flight that you guys had to go through to get to Atlanta?
Oh wow. Flight was pretty long. I had to go from Stockholm to Frankfurt and then Frankfurt to Atlanta. It was like, for me, the entire trip from my house to I was actually on the ground in Atlanta was like 18 hours, I think.
Oh my gosh. And that was kind of nice because you guys got in on a Wednesday, right?
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
Yeah, well, probably Wednesday. I think you guys got in on Wednesday because that's a big deal because a lot of other tournaments that occur, like they fly the team in like the day before. And you don't really get a chance to get used to the jet lag. Did you guys have an issue with that or no? Like it just worked out perfectly okay?
It was I don't know what's up with Youngbay and Cubofed, but they don't sleep. Like they need no sleep at all. First night, Youngbay goes up at like 5 a.m., takes a shower, and Cubofed was up at like 6 a.m. and he just came down with 2 pages of strategies against denial. Like, I'm like, what the hell, man? Sleep, you need to sleep, you know? But now we adapted pretty fast to it. We slept for, I think me and Lobster slept like 12 hours the first day, and then we were fine. No problem at all. Yeah.
Okay, good to know there for sure. So you got to Atlanta, and you had a chance to go ahead. What was it like for the first time meeting a lot of these other players? Like, did you meet everybody the first time in the lobby or no? Did you meet them elsewhere?
We met all the EU players like on the plane from so everybody from the UK had their own plane, right? And they all missed the plane anyway, so they came later. And then all the other players from EU went for they had the same flight from Frankfurt to Atlanta.
Okay.
So we met them at the airport. I met like the entire C9 there and all those guys. I met my own team there. It was just like so I don't know, it was just kind of weird. But at the same time, really, really awesome, like meeting everybody you spend so much time with, you rage with, in ranked, and you like, but when you get there, like everybody's friends, no matter what you may or may not have said to them in ranked and stuff. So it was all good.
Okay.
And then when we met the NA players, we met them in hotel lobby, and they were just, I don't know, Dignitas were so friendly, dude. Like Dignitas are so awesome. Like they're really good guys, and like. Yeah, I don't know. All the NA players were really nice. Everybody was really nice.
Okay, good to know there. And let's go ahead. We're going to bring Z Swizzle back in. It looks like he's still available. So we'll see. Z Swizzle, you still with us? Maybe. We'll give it a sec. We'll give him a sec. He's had a message like, oh, you only brought me in for a second. So we'll wait to see if Z Swizzle is there. Maybe he has it muted, or maybe he's... I don't hear him, though. I don't know if he has his mic set or not. So we'll have to wait to see what happens with that. While we wait for him to get that figured out. So you got to the venue. And what were your thoughts on the venue the first time you went and checked it out? I mean, was it what you expected or no?
It was insane. Like, I went past, like, I went down and I looked up. We weren't allowed, like, inside the actual, like, you know, we couldn't see everything. We weren't allowed inside, only, like, backstage. And I took a peek and I saw, like, a huge screen. I was like, damn, it's so big. It's like LCS big.
Yeah.
But then that was one of the side screens, and I thought that was the main screen, right? So when I went in the first time and I saw the huge screen, like, people weren't there. I don't think they realized exactly how big it was. It was insanely big, like, and I don't know, it was bigger than LCS setup. Like, that screen is bigger than LCS, and like even Reginald was like, holy shit, this venue is amazing.
Yeah.
And I agree. It was really well done. Like, I did not expect that kind of quality. It was, I don't know, it just kind of stepped up Hi-Rez, I think, in a lot of people's eyes. Like, the amount of quality they put out and the time and effort was spot on.
Yeah, it was interesting because the first few days you guys were doing a lot of like player interviews and pictures and stuff like that. A lot of that content that was shown between the matches. And so you really didn't get to see the venue, I think, until maybe Thursday, I think, or Friday, maybe Friday morning, that you got to see like the full venue for sure. And it was interesting because a lot of people were expecting a giant open room, that like very convention center type of layout that you would see from like your MLGs or your ESLs and stuff like that. And this was a complete opposite. It was very much like its own theater type of layout, for sure. So what's your favorite thing about the venue? If you could pick one thing where you were like, Hi-Rez, you hit it spot on, what was it about the venue that you thought was perfect?
The screen, dude. The screen was like, it was just, I don't know. There's something, okay, well, I have to say the screen and the audio, like, it made everything so epic. You know, everything was so loud, and when you see it that big and so loud, it's just kind of, I never really thought about like how epic Smite is. You know, I'm not much of a role player, and I don't really care. I mostly look at, like, you know, the game itself and how to be good at it. I don't really appreciate. I'll never take time to appreciate the game itself.
Yeah.
Like, the first thing I do when I did was like turn off the music. I don't need to hear that shit. I don't need to do tutorial. You know. Sure. And when I was there, it was like, damn, this game is made to be like this epic thing because everything is so loud, and like you have gods, you know, to get ultimates, and everything is just like, I don't know. It was just, the audio was amazing. Yeah,
they did a really good job. Those of you guys at home that didn't realize it and weren't at the event, when like a tower went down, it felt like the stones were crumbling around you. Like, they made like it really loud, and when like when a god landed a leap, like, you felt that hit the ground and rumble. And I think that's exactly what he's talking about. Like, they did this amazing job where, like, you know, when things occurred, you felt it. So you very much felt like, I saw a video the other day where people said it felt like you were in the arena with the gods.
Yeah.
Because
like the Geb rollout, for example, like, it's kind of like a rocky thing.
Yep.
Like, everything's shaking, and like the seats were almost shaking a little bit. Like, you could feel like the bass, you know. It was amazing.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree. So let's go ahead and take a call here from Andy Durfan. Andy, how's it going, man? Welcome to Smite Talk.
Right. Hey, what's up?
Hey, so what question do you have for Zimpstar or myself, or a comment?
I actually have one for both of you. I don't know which one wants to answer it first, but I was going to ask, how do you guys see yourself using the new god? I'm going to butcher the name. Hold on. Kumbakarna? I can't even say it. Anyways, how do you see how you're going to use it, and can you see them in, like, fighting scenarios?
Sure. Zimpstar, I'll throw it to you first. What are your thoughts on the new god that nobody knows how to pronounce his name?
No, I don't know. Tricksack is gonna have fun with it, and of course Game Manager is gonna be like, oh, it actually works in solo lane, guys. And they're both gonna feed the first few weeks, and then we'll just see what we're gonna do with him. Like, it's so hard to say before we actually try them out, but if it's good, we're gonna use him for sure. And his kit is really interesting. Like, he has the root is actually, Like it's really interesting. So his kit looks good, and it might look good on paper, but we don't know until we try it out and how it works with our team.
Yeah, I was looking at the kind of the patch notes information on him specifically, and I could definitely tell like everyone's gonna play him in every position the first like few days. Like that's what people do. Like people will play him jungle, and people will play him mid lane just ridiculously. So you'll see him all over the place, and then things will calm down, and people will learn how to counter him, and then he'll fall directly into place as to where his position is. Is he a solo laner, or is he a support type of position? You know, I think we'll have to see. But for me, I mean, I'm thinking either solo or definitely dual lane support is where I can see him just off the back of top of my head. But good question. What other questions do you have?
I also had a question. What was it? Dang, I can't remember now. Oh yeah. So, who is your favorite god to play with, out of all the gods, and who's probably been your best god to ever like win?
Okay, good question.
So to speak.
Good question. Zimpstar, what's your question? Or what's your answer? I'm sorry.
So like my favorite god basically, or what?
Yeah, who's your favorite god? Yep.
Damn, that's a really hard one. I love AMC. Like I have like a weird win ratio with AMC in ranked. For some reason I have like 75% win ratio with AMC. I don't know. I used to play him solos, and he's probably my favorite god, but my team won't let me play him solo when I sub in, so
That's funny. That's funny. I mean, I personally, I AMC, as you talked about. I mean, I think he's really, really good, especially in dual lane for sure. With the proper support, I think they work out like really well. For me, Ymir is definitely my favorite god. I've loved Ymir since I started playing Smite back in 2012. It was actually August of 2012, and it was funny talking about that. We were one of the many parties that occurred at the Smite launch tournament. We brought up on our phone the stats page, and we were looking up like the guys from TSM and the guys from Cloud9 who has played Smite the longest. And I forget who it was. I don't want to say it was Smek. It was either Smek. I think it was Smek actually, or one of the guys, or Cubo Fred. It was one of the two. Had like played since like July of 2012. But anyways, mine has been Ymir since then. And moving forward, like right now, I don't play Ymir as often because he's not viable most of the time. Right now the meta is very much like a warrior support style where it's kind of a hybrid. And so, as much as I love Ymir, he doesn't really have a niche right now. So yeah, that's kind of it. Any other questions you got there, Andy? Andy, you still with us?
Nah, I'm good for now.
Okay, well,
I'll think of some more.
Well, thanks for calling in. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Alrighty, so let's go ahead and take another. We'll go ahead and talk a little bit more here. So in Atlanta, did you have a chance to be up on stage behind some of the computers where the players were playing at and stuff like that?
Yeah. I helped them set up, and I played some of it. I played a few games actually on the warm up time when Yambe was running around doing, I don't know what I was grabbing, his bag or something, and I jousted Game Hunter, dude. I jousted Game Hunter, Anner, just to warm him up basically, and it was a nice setup.
Yeah,
I don't agree with the placement, with the angles sort of, because you can actually see the screen so easily if you look to the left, to the right. So next time they should have some kind of a booth, like something to cover up with, at least like a screen or whatever, like something next to them. And maybe not have the speakers right behind them because it was really loud. And that was the only flaw in the setup. I think it was they could have had like some other setup. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I know that like a few weeks before the actual event, I had a Smite Roundtable show, and Hi-Rez, Bart, and APC were on the show, and one of the questions I had asked was, are you guys going to have boosts? Are you going to have soundproof boosts, for example? And they decided to not go with that this time around because of the cost to have them custom built.
Yeah, it's really expensive to get them custom built.
Yeah, so which was understandable. Unfortunately, there wasn't really a good way, I guess, the way it looked. Like, the admins kind of stood between the last player and the big screen, and there was very much a rule like, hey, you can't turn around. Like, you had to raise your hand, and an admin would come to you, which makes sense. I think of the first tournament, I think it worked out. I mean, they had the soundproof headphones, stuff like that. Things worked out. But moving forward, I completely agree. Like, it needs to be angled a different way, or you need to have a like a small little wall put there, or a soundproof booth. I think would definitely be an excellent choice for sure. Without a doubt.
I think that's gonna be the case in China. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
If it's on the Tencent Gaming Arena.
Yeah.
I think it's called TGA.
Yeah.
They have the same for like every game, and they have like, and I also think they should allow the coach to be in the booth with the team and actually communicate with the team as the game goes on, which is a big difference. Like OGN, League of Legends, they let the coach talk with the players, and that makes it way more interesting. Although I'm gonna be the player in Shanghai. This game under unfortunately cannot go.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you're gonna fill in as that sub role. That's great. And so you'll fill in as solo laner then.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about China. That's a huge deal. One of the great rewards. I mean, not only did the Smite launch tournament fill your pockets with a little money for the team, but you know, it's gonna send you guys to China. What are your thoughts on China? Like, nobody knows anything about the Smite China scene. So what are you guys thinking right now?
Well, the Chinese meta is gonna be interesting. Probably it's gonna be a surprise. But the thing is, we've had like 2 years to practice for this, and they had like a few months. So I'm pretty sure. We're pretty confident still, even if I'm subbing in. It shouldn't really be a problem. I know Dignitas have been extended invite as well, so we're gonna play them as well there, and they might be harder, but as like, I don't know. What's interesting with this team is that when I sub in, we still perform like 99%. We can't perform 100% because Game Monitor is such a big part of the team.
Yeah.
Well, actually, wait. If we had this talk before the tournament, I would say we could perform 90% before the tournament. Now I'm not sure anymore because your Game Monitor is insane. So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, I won't feed. So.
So over in China, I mean, the big thing is, okay. The TSM very much played a very safe game at Smite launch, and you could see it where, you know, you guys would go ahead and get all 3 Phoenixes down, and you wouldn't go ahead and push the Titan. You would retreat back, you would buy your another layer of items, you would go ahead, you know, take down a few buffs and re-push the lane, which was very opposite of the North American aggressive teams. You know, North America is very aggressive, where you could definitely tell from TSM, you would take your time, you know, hey, you guys had the game right there, but you would say, no, let's be 100% sure, and we retreat back. Whereas in China, China players, and there's nothing about like the Chinese meta that's been announced. There isn't really any games you can watch out there or anything like that. But from looking at China in other games like League of Legends, Dota, stuff like that, they're very much like a team where like they'll go 2 supports with their team just in order to play it safe. Like, they very much like this hybrid tanky warrior selection type. Like, that's the way the culture is that we've seen in other MOBAs. Is there anything that, like, I guess right now there isn't a way that you guys can prepare for China, is there? Like, there's no replays or teams or anything that you know of. Is that correct?
No, like, we have no clue at all what they're gonna bring. Like, I mean, either we just beat them, or they're gonna show us like how we play Smite, and my entire our 2 years of our lives gonna be like a big lie. Like, we were wrong the entire time, guys. Like, Gev is a mage. You put him in mid. Like, what are you doing support? I don't know. Like, it's gonna be interesting for sure. And about the save, like the safe playstyle we had.
Yeah.
We, get all the Phoenixes down and then they finish. They won't admit it, but I'm like 99% sure they did it just to mess with me, you know, because they saw me down there being so anxious, and they were like, okay, we're gonna let him suffer for 1 more. That's what I think, at least.
That is funny for sure. So let's go ahead. We'll take another question here from one of our viewers here. We'll bring in Monster here. Let's go ahead and see if Monster's available. And Monster, welcome to Smite Talk. How's it going? Are you with us?
Yeah, well, I'm here.
Excellent. So what question or comment do you have for Zimpstar or myself?
First of all, I wanted to say huge congratulations to TSM on a win for the tournament. You did a great job. and my question is for Zimpstar. What do you see TSM becoming or doing in the near future, and who do you think will be their biggest rivals?
Ooh, good question, dude. Well, in the EU scene, any team can actually beat any other team. Like we lost games against Coast, we lost games against SK. I think all the EU teams, like those are pretty much the only one we face right now in the weeklies and the qualifiers in Gamescom. But if I had to pick one team that I would consider our rivals right now, I would say Dignitas for sure, because they are just so good, and like we were just really scared of meeting them. Like we had to prepare a lot when it came to picks and bans, because if you mess up the picks and bans against Dignitas, like you're screwed. And so yeah, my answer has to be Dignitas, probably our biggest rival. And for the future, I see us hopefully attending every tournament. We're gonna be at Gamescom if we qualify, and yeah, we'll be around.
Awesome. Do you have another question at all, Monster?
No, that's it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for calling in.
Much,
Appreciate it. Yeah, great question there for sure. So, talking, a little bit about there, we talked a little bit about China and stuff like that. That's coming up here in a few months, which will be exciting. Have you ever been to China or no?
Never been. I actually never been to Asia even. So
okay.
It's yeah, it's gonna be really awesome, and yeah, I look forward to it. It's gonna be amazing. Like just experience, China. Like I don't know. It's just we all look really forward to it, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. No, I think that'll be great. So, Hi-Rez recently came out with like their new format moving forward for their tournaments. Kind of almost like a hybrid CSL type of style with online tournaments that are qualifiers. That then they'll have a regional tournament, and then they have a bigger tournament. That was good. That was good, by the way. What are your thoughts on the new format that they're coming out with? I mean, it's definitely like a 6-month type of long format. I mean, you have a 3 months with like your qualifiers and regionals and a LAN event. What are your thoughts on it? They just announced it the other day.
So we have qualifiers coming up, and one thing is that I think one of the qualifiers for Gamescom is at the same time as the China tournament. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure what they're gonna do about that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm not even sure exactly what the setup is. It's gonna be qualifiers for Gamescom.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's gonna be Gamescom tournament, and then I was told it's gonna be another tournament in Germany that wasn't in Gamescom, just like another one, like a regional type of thing.
Yeah.
And if I understand correctly, the winner of that regional against the winner of the regional in the NA will face each other somewhere.
Yeah, they
Hopefully
haven't.
EU.
Yeah, they haven't given all the details for sure there yet. I mean, the regions are definitely separated right now, from what we're understanding. I'm just trying to see here. I'm trying to go on Smite's website to see their layout moving forward here for the next year or so, for the different tournaments and stuff like that. I don't seem to have it available to me, but yeah, so I'm not sure what they're going to do. I mean, my understanding is definitely like the NA and EU scene will go ahead and merge back up together, which makes sense. I mean, in a LAN event, there's no reason why they wouldn't go ahead and do that. So that'll be pretty exciting. Do you see any issues at all with compared, where Smite's moving to the next level from like this little weeklies now to some big LAN tournaments for sure. Do you see any issues with that, or you're very happy with it?
With what exactly? Sorry, can you?
No, that's fine. Are you very happy with the new format? Like the new format's like perfect because it keeps you guys busy, or do you not like the new format? I guess is my question.
Oh yeah, I like it. It keeps us busy and it keeps us on our toes, and like to be able to keep playing the game and enjoy it, I think you need something to look forward to, and
yeah,
we would love to face the NA teams again. We had so much fun, and for some reason we seem to do pretty well against them. So hopefully, as long as down to frag doesn't qualify to anything, we should be good, because those guys are pretty scary.
Yeah, they yeah, they didn't really have an opportunity, I guess, really to qualify, but from what it's looking like, in the previous weeks, they did super good. So I have the info up here. I'll go ahead and put it in chat for the next year. What we're gonna go ahead and expect coming out of you know, Smite, those of you guys not familiar. So there's going to be tournaments for the month of April with the different partners. Like this week they had Smite Central. And then May to July will be the qualifiers, which will be online. So it's a 3-month qualifier. And teams will earn points just like they did before. And that will get them invited to the regionals, which the regionals will be the LAN event. The way that'll work out, and then that will go ahead. And then in the meantime, in late fall, they'll have a wild card. So if you didn't make regionals, you'll have an opportunity to go ahead and jump into the wild card tournament as kind of a last opportunity. And then finally in November, they'll have playoffs, which will be like the big event and stuff like that, which will go ahead and give you entries. So that's pretty cool. I'm eager to see this big event that they're talking about here coming up in like the late future, because that's pretty much like the next big tournament from you know, from Hi-Rez Studios, bringing North America and EU together, which will be pretty cool.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, what do you find, you know, prior to the Smite launch tournament, a lot of people were like, okay, what does NA bring different from EU? So after you guys were at the launch tournament, how would you sum up North American playstyle?
Very much like our own. Like, some people say that we play like an NA team, and I did not really understand what they meant until we play them, and I could see the similarities. But our focus is so late game. Like, we pick for the late game, and I do think NA tend to pick a little bit more for the early mid game.
Okay.
Like the Tyr picks, for example. Tyr Lass is a world-class jungler, right? But he picked Tyr a lot, and Tyr is one of those like, he's so good early mid. He has a really good late game like he's good. I don't want to say Tyr is bad late game, but against a team that is coordinated, Tyr is not good late game, because when you blink in and you wanna fearless on someone, they're gonna beads, and then you're gonna take a lot of damage. I mean, you could see that when the game got the pentakill. Tyr, I think he blinked or ulted in, got a pick on Hebo, and then they all just went on him, and it's I don't know. I think we prefer the hyper carries in the jungle, like Mercury, Freya. But then again, they pick Nemesis a lot too. I don't know. It's very similar, and the other EU teams, they tend to play more of an aggressive, squishy composition sort of play style.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool for sure. Let's go ahead. We'll bring in our next caller here. Alicia. Let's see. Alicia, welcome to Smite Talk. How's it going? Hello, hello. Are you there? Maybe. All right. Maybe not. Oh, there you are. You there? I hear you. I hear you a little bit. All right. We'll let them figure out their mic, and we'll go ahead and bring in Herlock. Herlock, welcome to Smite Talk. How's it going?
How you guys doing?
Good. So what question do you have for Zimpstar or myself?
Okay, well, my question is, I don't watch much League of Legends, but I know the name TSM, and I see the name has been prevalent in Smite over the last few months. And doing some research on them, I see how strong they are. And my question is, what is it that makes this organization as a whole so dominant in these esports? Is it the coaching, the organization as a whole, or just damn good recruiting and players?
Oh, well, we should get Reginald in here. Nah, I don't know. It's just that Team SoloMid has been a team in League of Legends that always adapted to new season and new patches. And they replaced a few players like over time. Reginald used to play mid, and we had Chaos used to play AD carry. So they kind of refined their lineup until like almost, I wouldn't say perfection because they didn't win last season, but I don't know what it is. It's just that I think they're very, very particular on who they want under the name. Like they waited for like 2-3 months before picking us up from the first contact, just to make sure we were consistent in our play and that we didn't really, drop games randomly or like, raging in ranked and all that. So I don't know. I guess it just set the standard pretty high.
Okay, good question. No, good question for sure. Do you have any other questions or comments or anything like that, Herlock?
No, other than that, keep up the good work. I'm glad to see you guys taking over Smite for now, hopefully.
Thank you,
I'd love
man.
to see more teams in the Smite community, but congratulations on the win and keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
Excellent, excellent. Well, let's go ahead and take some questions. We have a few last minutes here. We'll take some questions from chat. Where I'm going to go ahead and put a link in chat, guys. This is for ask.fm. This will allow you guys to submit the questions. They will be anonymous. If you want to put your name at the end of them, you can. But go ahead and just ask a question over here. And usually we get a ton of questions from here, and we'll go ahead and ask them slowly but surely as time goes on. While we wait for people to go ahead and submit questions from the Smite game chat. So what has TSM been up to since the launch tournament? It was just the other week. Are you guys kind of taking a little breather? I mean, this is the first week that we actually had a tournament available. You guys didn't play in it. Is that correct?
Yeah, we decided not to play today because we had some members missing, and we don't wanna come out half-assed and let the fans down. So what we're doing right now is just playing a lot of ranked. Like I told the guys, basically we don't have to scrim right now. There's no really point because there's gonna be 2 new patches before any tournament happens anyway. But just make sure you play enough rank to keep your mechanics up and up to date on what you should be buying and stuff like that. So right now we're just spamming ranked, and we're streaming a lot as well. Trixtank and Yambe are. So that's all we're doing. We're just keeping up to date on everything. We're gonna be scrimming starting next week.
Okay, cool. Let's see here. Just taking some more questions there. See what happens. So let's see what type of questions we have. So yeah, people, you can go ahead and submit questions at ask.fm/OctanePro. So if you don't have a microphone or you can't go ahead and call in, I'll put the link in chat one more time so you guys can go ahead and check that out. And if any other people come in the raid call, I'll go ahead and try to pull you in for sure. See how things work out there. We have someone that jumped in, says, "I'm not NQ." We'll have to see if that's actually him coming to jump in it. Taking a look, what are you guys expecting out of the next year for Smite? Do you have big expectations? Are you hoping for more organizations to come into the scene? Are you hoping for larger prize pools? I mean, Smite is definitely a young scene. The large tournaments are great, but outside of that, you really only have about $1,000 tournament a week. Is that something that can still fuel the team moving forward?
Yeah, I mean it's a nice kind of like every Sunday if you can manage to win all of them every Sunday, it's a little bit of money, and you can see kind of where you are in terms of skill compared to other teams.
Yeah.
We're hoping for 2015 to not have these extended periods of time between the tournaments. We would like more frequent. It doesn't matter if they're smaller tournaments, as long as they're a bit more than the current one.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather have a 5K tournament every 4 weeks, for example, than 1K every week.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm hoping it's gonna be more, and they promised us more.
Yeah.
At least Bart did. I know Bart promised me more. So
well, if Bart said it, that means it's true. Come on now.
Yeah, and Adam promised me too. So I'm gonna hold them accountable if there's not big stuff next year.
Sure.
We'll see.
Yes, I completely agree. So let's see if we have any other questions from you guys. Let's see. Trying to see if there's any more questions coming in. If not, we'll go ahead and wrap things up as time goes on. Let's see. Are there any organizations that you hope that will get into the Smite scene that are currently not in the scene?
Oh, well, we have plenty. We have Fnatic, there's EG, TLG. I know some of these actually looking for teams, you guys. So if you have a team you think you're good, then you should be showing that you can be the best. Because I know I've spoken to some of these organizations. I know big names are looking for teams, and yeah. So just keep playing. You will be contacted if you're good enough. Like I promise you.
Yeah, it was interesting. I saw Mortality Esports is actually making a comeback because they partnered with Parabellum and Smite Central are now like one company. So Mortality Esports is actually going to be scouting for a team as well. Like they announced it yesterday that like they're actively looking. So I think there's a lot of people actively looking, and I think especially like the 3-month-long qualifiers that they're going to put out, I think is going to be a big deal. Like I think that's going to start to bring in a lot of these pickups for sure. So we're not going to answer all these, but we have 65 questions submitted by the viewers. So we'll take a few of these. I know we'll take a few of these for sure. Who is the biggest bad-mannered player on TSM?
The most bad-mannered player? Wow. I would say in ranked, probably Lobster. I would say it's Lobster. Like, he doesn't really. He's like passive aggressive. Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. You can feel he's not happy. Like, you can feel it. Like, oh damn, he's not happy. And you kind of want Lobster to be happy, you know. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I would say Lobster.
Okay.
Youngbei is cutting close, but Youngbei is like, I don't know. He's gotten so much better since we became TSM. So I can't say Youngbei, honestly.
Okay. If you could pick one word to describe each player on the team, what would it be? One word for each player. Each player.
So Game Hunter, God, of course. Like they should make a God in Smite called Mar Korsten. Like it should be like it should be him running around just killing everyone. And then we have Youngbei. Youngbei is one word for Youngbei. Just I don't know, just lovable. And then we have Trickstank, who's hilarious. Fred is damn. I can't say these words here. He's so funny though. I love Fred. Fred is amazing though, amazing player. And then we have Lobster, who's Lobster is the coolest guy I know. Like he never smiles, like ever. Like I came up behind the screens, like when we won. I'm like, Lobster, we won, man, we won. And he's like, yeah. We won.
No big deal. No big deal.
Yeah, he didn't even smile. I'm like, what the fuck? I just like, I don't know. He's just so cool, dude. Like, I love Lobster. He's always so level-headed. When anything happens in game, he's never like, he never gets upset. He's just, you know, he's just so cool.
Okay.
Coolest guy, you know.
Okay, yeah. Cool. So another question here: has there been any chat of TSM and a team house?
Wait, TSM Smite team house?
Like yeah, yep, TSM gaming house.
Yeah, I mean, there's been discussions about it. The problem is Trickstank, Fred are still in school.
Oh, okay.
And I have my job. Lobster has his work job. Like, if we could get a salary that would be equivalent to our jobs right now.
Sure.
I guess some of us would easily do it. Like, I wouldn't say no, obviously, but as it is right now, maybe. Like, if you ask this question in about 1 year from now, when they're done in school, I think there's possibilities for sure.
Okay. So it really comes down to school then and the limitations. I mean, of course, you want them to finish up schooling, and then after that, you know, it's kind of like, all right, you know, we might as well, as long as, you know, the team house is there. So that makes complete sense. All right, let's see another question here. Let's see. Where did the guys from TSM on the Smite team come from? Like, did a lot of them come from League of Legends? Did they play a lot of Dota, or did they play other game types?
I think Lobster has similar background to me, like World of Warcraft and LoL, and I think all of us. It's not a gamer. Like I don't think he played like single player games. That's all he ever played. Like, and then he came to Smite, and it's like, oh, I'm pretty good at this game, and just kept on playing. And that's if I'm not mistaken. And then you have Chicks and Freds. They're too young to be playing these old school games. They just kind of played World of Warcraft, I think. So yeah, we all have gaming backgrounds, except Game Hunter, who's like the MVP. So there you have it.
Okay, cool. Good answer there for sure. Let's see. And someone said here, what do you think about TSM's early game in the last match of the tournament?
Oh wait, that was a Kronos game.
Yes.
The early game was fine. Like, I think that's one of the games where I wasn't actually worried. I could tell, like, from the start that Dignitas were a bit tilted, and I think the Kronos pick really threw him off, because when you're up against, like,
oh, it did. Nobody expected it at all. Everyone's like, are you kidding me? A Kronos?
Like when you're up against like this is the thing with Kronos, right? Okay, say you're playing ranked and you against some dude who's like I don't know, a mediocre elo. He's not the best player, not bad, just medium player. Kronos is not that scary. Like he's kind of meh, you know. Kronos is like okay, well he's there.
Yeah.
But when you have it like, but the thing is, it's so exponential that when you have a good player on Kronos, it instantly becomes this. It's so scary, dude. Game on Kronos is the scariest thing you could possibly imagine. But it's because you can't kill him, and he will do damage to everybody, and he will not miss his stun. And
sure,
I could tell already 15 minutes in that it was game. Like it was done.
Okay. Okay. We have another caller here. I'm not NQ. Let's go ahead and bring them in. I'm not NQ.
Oh my god.
I'm not
NQ.
NQ. Welcome to Smite Talk. How's it going?
Hello. First of all, I'm your biggest fan since
You know it's NQ. You can tell already. You can tell. He sends me a message. He sends me a message. He's like, I'm NQ's biggest fan. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Well, I am.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you got.
No one loves me more than myself.
What's up, buddy? We miss you, man. We miss you.
Miss you too.
So, what's your question? What do you want to talk about?
Oh my god.
All right, Zimpstar, prepare.
Yeah.
Is it true that Game Hunter is gonna retire?
No, it's not true. It was actually there was some risk for that before the tournament because his parents has been reluctant. Like they don't really understand the gaming, and
sure.
Game Hunter has a lot of things in real life he has to deal with. But now that he saw just how appreciated Game Hunter is and like how much he thrives in this like being the best, I think. It sounds like we're gonna figure it out, and he's gonna keep playing. So he's just not gonna be in China, but he's gonna be Gamescom. He's gonna be pretty much at everything else. So I dodged one there because I wouldn't be able to sub in. Like it's way too big shoes to fill, So yeah,
I would have an easy solo then.
Oh my god, you don't want to be against AD carry. I know it. Nah, so I'm happy about us keeping him because he's just a monster,
So NQ, how are things going for you, man? Since the tournament.
Which tournament? This one?
Maybe.
Today?
No, the Atlanta tournament.
Oh yeah, well, we had some roster changes. So.
Yeah. Yep. So should we expect you guys gonna be in next week's tournament or no?
I hope. Like Badger is still on vacation.
Okay.
So I'm not really sure if we play.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
I just hope we can start scrimming TSM again.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, for sure. You got any more questions, sir?
Not really. Just Zimpstar's biggest fan.
Ah.
I follow him since Bloodline Champions. Like, I'm his biggest.
I love you, NQ.
Love you too.
Good deal. NQ, touch base with me. We'll have to get you on the show next time. How's that sound, man?
Yeah, about that. I'm not about the fame life though.
Oh yeah, you are. What are you talking about? I saw you in Atlanta. Come on now. All right, man. Well, you have a good night. Thanks for calling in.
Have a nice night.
See ya.
Bye bye. Thank you.
All right, good deal. We'll take a few more questions, then we'll let you go because it's probably getting late over there.
No, I'm fine, dude. I got nothing to do tomorrow. I'm off work, so.
Oh, nice. Good deal.
You have me for about me for some more time. So
okay. Okay. Cool. So if anyone else has any other live questions they want to ask, go ahead and call in on Raid Call. The information is listed below my video. If not, you guys can go ahead and use the ask.fm website. It's ask.fm/OctanePro. Feel free to go ahead over there and ask any questions that you guys have, and I'll make sure we get as many as we can answered. Another question somebody had put in was, what are your thoughts on a lot of the roster changes going on for the professional teams? Do you think they're necessary after their performance at Atlanta, or what are your thoughts on the roster changes that are slowly coming out?
Yeah, I'm reading the chat now on Twitch, and people are mentioning SK did some roster changes, for example. I think C9 did too.
Yep.
And, I mean, it's to be expected. I don't think no one's surprised. And it's what happens. Like, when you're at the tournament and you prepare so much for it, and someone doesn't perform, or there's problems with the communication, or just team synergy is off, you have to do something. I mean, you can be best friends. Like, our team, we're all friends, right? But if something for a long period of time is not working, at the end of the day, you're spending so many hours on this, and it becomes not like a job, but it's almost there at this point, and you just have to make a tough decision, because at the end of the day, you need to win if you want to keep playing.
Yeah.
And if these teams think it's for the best, then who is to say that they shouldn't do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
No, good thought there for sure. I mean, that's the big thing. Everybody knows coming. Like at Atlanta, like the last few days, everybody even said it. Like it was just, people were talking about it. Like, hey, there will be roster changes for a lot of these teams. They're not going to be the same teams, a few months from now when the qualifiers go ahead and kick off. You're going to see a lot of roster changes because at the end of the day, the organizations like Cloud9 and Team Dignitas and Denial and SK and stuff like that, like you either go to win or you swap out your team for somebody else. Because, that's what the organizations are in it for. Like, they want to win. They want the coverage and the tournaments,
Yeah, it's like in any game. Like, you have League of Legends. They swapped out Chaos to Walter, and now they're winning the bottom lane every single game.
Yeah.
Like, it's just... Sometimes it's not even an individual play or mechanical issue. It's just pure synergy. And if it doesn't work, well, it doesn't work. But if he's a good player, he'll most likely find another team that works better for him, and hopefully gain more success there.
Yeah, yeah. Another question someone had asked was, what was it like for the team to play in a LAN environment versus an online tournament? Was that a big factor, like nerves and people, not ready to be in front of like a big audience, or did everybody was completely comfortable and everything clicked?
You mean in the team, like how we performed on the live set?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, it's so funny because. The team did not give a single shit about being online. Like they played like it was like as if they were home.
Okay.
And I was the only one being so nervous because I couldn't directly impact the games.
Yes. Yep.
I'm pretty sure if I was playing myself, I wouldn't feel those feelings I had.
Okay.
But since I had no control at all, I ended up being a wreck the entire time. But they were really cool. They were like, as I said, like Lobster. Like it's almost unreal just how cool Lobster is when it comes to this. Like he's so calm, and his presence is so calming in game. I think it affected like the rest of the team, and I think it's huge. Like his presence is huge for the team, especially in a LAN environment.
Okay. Question here. Good question, especially someone in your situation. Someone says, "What advice would you give for a player trying to find a team at this point in the Smite esports scene?"
This is the perfect time to start finding a team because, as we said, like obviously organizations are gonna start looking for teams because they're gonna be like, okay, well, SK Gaming, Dignitas, TSM, C9, they all have teams. Maybe we should look into picking up our own because obviously it's growing, and right now, if you want to be in a good team, play solo queue. I know sometimes it just sucks, man. You just have to keep grinding it, and if you can become like in the top 10 ranked, people will notice you, and there's examples of it like all the time. I know when I started my first team, Victoria's Secret, we picked up Shadow Nightmare and Fumble just because they were like really good solo queue players.
Sure.
And then now they were in Coast, and now they have their own team, and they were doing really well. Like. It's all about doing the solo queue because no one's gonna even try you out if you haven't played single game ranked. So just play ranked, see how good you really are, because that's where you can shine.
Yeah, I mean, for just as we talked about before, like starting next month in May, that's when the qualifiers start. So I think teams and organizations are going to be looking in both directions because by the time that qualifier ends, organizations want to have those teams picked up. So like, there were some EU teams that were, some unknown teams that kind of got in the top 3 today that did really, really well. If they continue doing well and then at the end of the qualifiers, they'll most likely have a team pick them up before the regionals because organizations want to be represented, going to those big ones there. Someone asked here, if you could pick one North American pro that was your favorite, in person, their personality, stuff like that, who would it be? Only one.
It's it's a really tough one.
Okay.
Like, damn, this is a hard answer because there's so many people that came to my mind, but the one guy that stands out without doubt, is Lasses. Lasses is amazing.
He does
He's
stand
an
out.
amazing dude.
He's a big oaf. He stands out every time. Come on now.
Yeah, like I don't know. I went out and grabbed some drinks with him and some food. Him and his girlfriend and some other guys, and we talked like for an hour, and he was just, I don't know. He's just a really, really good guy, and yeah, he's the one standing out from the rest, I think.
Okay, sure. And they also asked in the same question, who was your favorite non-pro that you met?
A non-pro?
Yep, just somebody.
Oh, you know it, Octane. You know
it,
Octane.
Oh, look at that love! Look at that love.
Also a really tough one, but yeah, it's you and they like APC bar. I don't know. It's just really hard. Like you're all so nice and so. I don't know. It's just I can't really answer that one.
No, that's fine. Hey, you gave your answer. It's all good. I'll take it.
I'll
take that reward. Come on now.
Great.
Let's see what else we got here. If you could pick one player in each role outside of TSM that you feel right now after the Atlanta tournament is the best, who would it be? So like outside of TSM, who do you feel is the best solo laner or the best support or best jungler or stuff like that?
Oh, okay, yeah. For solo lane, starting there, like I still want to say Zelia.
Okay.
Even though if he didn't really perform like you expected him to do, but I think that's because he I don't know, he just wanted to play Bakashura like every single game, and I think that kind of, if he gets over that, Zelia is if he has game under, like okay, who don't you want to face in the solo lane? Zelia can get into game under's head. Like Zelia can outplay game under, and that's saying a lot. I think Zelia is amazing, and he's a really good guy as well. Like he's very knowledgeable about the game, and he's an amazing player. It's really close between him and Anatoly. I love Anatoly too, but I think Zelia has the mechanical edge on Anatoly. And then for mid lane, I don't want to be too EU biased now. See the mid lane. You have mid lane. Captain Twig is an amazing mid laner, and
he is.
I don't play much mid lane, so I can only go with Lobster's word. And Lobster's told me that first person that ever really beat him in lane, like straight up beat him 1-on-1. So I'm gonna take that and say Captain Twig for the mid lane.
Okay.
And then for AD carry, I had to say this is so hard, but I would say Zapman.
Okay.
And yeah, and then I would take Jeff Finda as support.
Okay.
Because he is a really good support. And for jungle, wow, there's so many good junglers in NA. Wow. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to say last is just because it came in second. So
good answer, quick and easy.
Yeah.
He is definitely one of the more aggressive junglers, I feel like, in the scene for sure.
I just feel like if you picked more aggressive picks, like skip the tier and go for hyper carries, they would win more games. But I'm not gonna give him too many tips now because they aren't for free.
They aren't for free. That's right. You gotta earn them.
They're not for free.
Somebody had asked, what was the biggest obstacle for TSM at the Smite launch tournament?
Oh, obstacle. Damn. Just I don't know. Just getting started. Like when we roll, like we keep on rolling, you know. But if we would have lost like the first game against Denial, which actually Denial. Anyone listening here, do not underestimate Denial at all. Like their early game is insanely good. We're almost like we were like 4K behind against Denial.
Yeah.
And it's just that as long as we're not tilted, like we do fine with tilted as well. But just biggest obstacle is just overcoming the first game and just getting started. You know, we just wanted to like start winning, and then we can just keep on winning. Once we start winning, we don't really stop winning. Like a lot of times in tournaments. In the weeklies, we would lose the first game in the finals, and then just win the next two.
Okay. Someone had asked about Atlanta as well. Where do you think Dignitas went wrong in the grand finals versus you guys? Those of you guys not familiar, TSM had a 1-game lead over Dignitas because TSM never dropped a game in the winners bracket. So that was kind of, because it was double elimination, that's how it was fair for TSM to have a 1-game lead, because they never had a chance to drop down. So for you, where did you think Dignitas, I guess you should word that a little better. What did TSM take advantage of versus Dignitas that allowed you guys to win?
Like I just talked about, I think that tilting is a big thing, like in any game, and they came in, we hadn't dropped a single match, and just the psychological aspect of having to beat us 3 times in a row, like, oh, not in a row, but just 3 times.
Yeah.
Like you have to think, like, okay, they have to win 2 times against us, and we have to beat them 3 times, 3 games, and they still haven't dropped a single match. Like, it's just exhausting mentally to have that on your shoulders. And after they lost the first game, I think we could have lost 2 times and still like win. It's just,
yeah.
I don't think they played it wrong. I think they know better than I do what they did wrong, because we kind of focus on our own play. I think it was just a mental aspect. I think if that was like the first game all over again, and it didn't really matter, or we didn't have that win on them, or if they had it, for example, I think they would have had a better chance of winning. But I think that tilt, or that one extra game we had was, it was an advantage for sure.
Excellent. Sounds good. And outside of that, I mean, we have a ton of questions. We can go on for a while, but I definitely don't want to hold you up. We'll take a few last questions here, and we'll call it a night for you. Who is your favorite caster at the Smite launch tournament? Someone was asking. You could pick one caster. Who would it be that stands out to you?
Oh, like, wow, this is so hard. Like, F dot performed really well as well on the B stage. Like, he's a really good caster. Cred as well, but I gotta say DM and Brandon. I mean, DM and Driver. Like, that was like LCS quality casting.
Yeah.
Like, they went like Korean style when Game Runner got the penta. Like, that was Korean pentakill screaming style. And I don't know. I just, DM and Brandon, and Driver really impressed me. Like, they really, really impressed.
Okay. No, good answer there for sure. And let's take a few last questions here from chat room. Let's see. What is your thought on Bastet prior to like the patch coming out here? Do you think she is a little strong right now, or what's your thoughts on her?
Bastet is crazy. I don't know. I'm not sure if there's something wrong with her scratch.
Yep.
I think the cone is way too wide, and you can't miss it. You used to be able to like run against the Bastet, and then kind of like run either way, like next to her, and she would miss. She would like miss her scratch. It would happen, like even to good players. Fred and no, you can't do it anymore. Like, if you miss that now, you're doing something really wrong. Like, you're just messing up. They need to nerf that a bit. Maybe some of the damage. She doesn't need all that damage. The casts are annoying as shit too. Like, they're so annoying.
They are. Yep, I agree.
But she's a bit nerfed next patch, so I'm gonna have to wait and see.
Okay. I like it. Let's see. Is TSM making any roster adjustments or changes to your practice schedule between now and the next qualifying tournament? Like, what are you changing up from the team between now and then?
Nothing really.
Okay.
The only difference is I'm going to China. Game Runner is not.
Okay.
But we put a lot more emphasis on the Gamescom tournament, or the qualifier one.
Okay.
Because the Chinese one is only a show match anyway. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's not like competition or anything like that. Yeah.
No. We practice more against it. We're gonna focus more on the EU teams right now. We don't really care about what the Chinese do right now. We're gonna do that like a week before and just see if we can figure something out.
Okay. Perfect. And last question someone has, we'll end it with this one, is what do you recommend for up-and-coming teams on how to go ahead and practice for a tournament?
Oh, scrim. Like, we don't really say no to scrims until we tried it out.
Okay.
Like, of course, if we scrim a team that's not as experienced as us, and it's like a 10-minute surrender, then maybe you need to go back and check other teams. But just scrim like a lot. Don't be afraid of losing. Like, losing practice makes perfect, and losing is only another way of like you getting better. It's almost better to lose sometimes, so you can go back and check like, okay, what do we need to improve on? Because when you win, it's easy to go like, oh, we won, we're so good, like we didn't do any mistakes. But you always do mistakes. Everybody does mistakes, like all the time, and just scrim a lot, just practice in ranked, as I talked about earlier. Or if you're Zeli, I could do casuals too, I guess. But just get mechanically good and work as a team and go back, look at replays and all that.
Okay, great. Well, sounds good. Well, those of you guys not familiar with the Smite Talk show, you guys can check it out on the audio version on iTunes. So if you guys want something to listen to on your way to work or on the train or something like that, go ahead and you can go ahead and check it out. Go on iTunes, look up Smite Talk. You can also check it out on the Android platform. Just download your favorite podcast app and look up Smite Talk. This VOD will be up there tomorrow. And thank you to everybody on there that has given us 5-star reviews. Do appreciate it. For you, Zimpstar, where can people find you? I mean, do you stream? Is Twitter the best way? What's the best way to keep up to date with you?
Ooh, can I post stuff on
Oh,
in the chat?
You can post whatever you want. If it go ahead and put it in the Skype chat for us, and then I'll post it, so you don't have to worry about the permission issue. So if you post your links in the Skype chat, I'll go ahead and copy and paste them in, because the Skype chat might go ahead and delete it.
So what I want to do is just we all use Twitter.
Okay.
Like, so you can find all of us on Twitter, actually.
Okay.
I just gotta make sure I get all of them down, so I don't want to be too selfish here.
No, take your time. Go for it. Go for it.
I got Lobster and the Tank. So here's all the Twitters.
Wow, that was quick.
I know. Yeah, and that's Trix and Yambe stream. They're streaming a lot, and Lobster also on occasion.
Okay.
And yeah, so there's where you can find us. Sometimes on the TSM official TSM Facebook and Twitter as well. They will sometimes tweet us. Yeah, that didn't really work out at all. What you just posted, I think. It's just
Oh, it works. There's a space between each one. It worked. There's a space. There's a space between each one, so you can go ahead and click yours. Yep. Each one is an individual link, so you can go ahead and click anybody on there, and it'll take you to each of their Twitters. It looks like one run-on, but it's actually separated, so you're good there. As always, thank you very much to Hi-Rez Studios for having the Smite Talk show on their channel. Do appreciate it. Special shout-outs to TSM for allowing us to have Zimpstar on here tonight. Hopefully we can have some more people on here. And just in case it didn't work for people, I will paste it individually. You ready? Here it comes. There's one. Here we go. Do it one at a time, and then we'll be good to go. All right. Almost there, guys. Hang with me. Look at each one.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
for sure. So, yeah, it'll be cool. I'd be eager to see if we can get something set up in the future for some of the guys on the team if they're available and want to come on and do something either individually or hey, get like 3 of them or all 5 of them. Either one works for sure. But there's all the links in chat, guys, for the guys from TSM. Let me get the last one in there for Trickstank. There we go. Perfect. Once again, guys, thank you guys for hanging out. I am going to take about a 10-minute break, and then I'll be back doing some five-man pre-made Smite games for the next little while, and then we might actually have a Smite roundtable discussion later on tonight, maybe around 9 or 10 o'clock. So we'll have some other people from the community coming on possibly for a roundtable discussion. So if you guys want to hang out for that, great. So guys, I'll be back in a little bit here. Give me a few minutes to grab some food, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care, folks.